Hey everyone, super excited to bring you another incredible training from our Friday Connect training series. For those of you that are new to the channel, we host these every single Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern, completely for free. Now, if you're interested in joining one of these calls, just click the link that's in the top of the description. It's also in the pinned comment. That'll take you over to our Facebook group where you can see all the upcoming calls, all the upcoming topics, and even leave some suggestions for something you want to see us cover in the future. With all that being said, let's just get right into the training.
So once again, today we're going to talk about really high level. I'm going to give you some strategy, and without this, you really won't ever build a proper foundation. And you could do this with a lot of tools that are out there. What I'm going to walk you through is having a system in place for this. So how do you generate leads? How do you nurture them so that touch points you have with your leads? And then how do you convert them through this process? But the key part here is how do you do them all in one place? And Kyle did a great job of doing an introduction. Just to give you a little bit of background, prior to becoming a real estate agent, for the past 4 years, my husband and I, we were investing in real estate, and we started to joint venture with people, and we wanted to have more access to information and control. So we got our license. And, when I got into the real estate space and joined our brokerage and gave me the ability to build my team, I realized that I was missing out on this opportunity because for the past 10 years, I worked in the marketing space, consulting, working with entrepreneurs, helping with brands. So I just transitioned into the real estate space, doing everything and aligning everything together. And so I bring it over a decade of, that's why a lot of what you're going to hear is strategy based stuff, because I bring a decade of my marketing consulting experience into this space. And I'm doing this for, in perspective of particularly to the real estate industry. And that's kind of where my kind of forte comes from. But please, follow me on YouTube. I have a channel with my husband where we talk about everything, real estate in terms of investment in particular. And I also have my own channel. If you look at my name, everything for real estate agent, a lot of, KVCO tutorials are in there. So feel free to, follow me there as well, and just stay connected. And if you have any questions, or if you think that there's something that, KVCO or any kind of CRM that's that is doing something different out there and you want me to dive into it more, I'm happy to, because there are a lot of CRMs that are very similar to that. But I'm going to particularly touch on an overarching what you need to have in particularly to your business, and why you need to have a proper CRM in order to do this, and what considered is a smart CRM. There's tons of things like, Follow Up Boss, KV Core, and there's tons out there, and they all have their own uniqueness or pros and cons to everything. But ultimately, it's really about the strategy and how do you run your business, and we all have very similar businesses, but we all have different processes. So how do you take your existing process of work and integrate it into a process that is going to make it efficient for you, run everything in one place, track it, but at the same time, help you build and grow your business, right? So keeping your business stagnant isn't going to take you anywhere. So ultimately, our goal when it comes to, generating leads, it's all about building a database. And I think this is what a lot of real estate agents miss, is we concentrate so much on, getting the client and the closed deal. We forget about the massive step that it takes to get there. And that's all about, building that database, nurturing, building that relationship. We're in a people business. And I think that's what I really wanted to take home here. But before I dive into a lot of the nuances about what I just mentioned, I really want to touch upon what a CRM is. I think a lot of, real estate agents coming into the space, some of us don't even know what a CRM is because we didn't work in that space, and I completely get it. A CRM is a customer relationship management. And it isn't only that, because people think, oh, it's just a system that houses your contacts. Then completely wrong. It is a technology that manages and improves your business relationship, and not just contacts. It can interact with your potential and current customers. So again, it has the ability to generate leads, if you caught that as well. And there's a lot of components to CRM, but I want to highlight 4 here. Is the technical aspect is one, of course, is the technology, the app. The other is strategy. So it takes everything that you need to do in your business and it integrates into the system so that it's particular to your business, which is why I'm big on making sure that you find the right technology, but it's real estate focused. So if you're in this space, make sure it's real estate focused. And the other is, every system, every CRM have, many features. So how do you use that to systemize things and make it a process for your business and have, standard operating procedures? And then how do you add people and other agents and your staff to make it more of a, all of your agents and all of your staff are in one place from an organizational perspective, so that this CRM isn't just housing your contacts. Now it's becoming the way you work, is a way of working. So you don't even have to be at an office to do this, right? So if you're getting to where I am going, it's all about doing things on autopilot, letting machine help you. Automating things is huge and saving you time ultimately. So let's talk a little bit about systems and tools for a second. And most importantly, what I mean by this is that make sure you have this system to begin with, something that is super integrated. So let's say you go and do YouTube videos like I do, or, like Kyle, he does a lot of Facebook ads, that's his specialty. Or if you, go ahead and do social media posts, like whatever you do, make sure that wherever your clients or your leads see you, the audience, you can funnel them ultimately your database. If you don't have their contacts, then what's the point? There's no relationship to build. So ultimately, it's really about having a real estate specific technology one, because if you don't have access to our product, what do we sell? Houses, right? So if you don't have access to an MLS system integrated within your CRM, then what's the point of a CRM first? That's why Excel documents don't work. A normal CRM like a Salesforce that isn't IDS integrated doesn't work. So a smart CRM, meaning that it's kind of can replace a human. Does that make sense? And it can replace a human and take it to the next level, where I can track the behaviors of what people are doing, track what other people are doing offline, meaning even when I'm sleeping, is tracking what others are doing, because other people in other parts of the world are awake that might be on your website where you could do business with, because we're part of a global brokerage. I literally closed a deal from somebody a couple of months back in Portugal where I made money on. You see where I'm going with this? So there's a massive opportunity. Like right now, when Frank said, hey, if you have people coming to Thunder Bay, let me know. I don't live in Thunder Bay, but I happily let you know that, right? So I can make a referral from that. So it's really about monetizing and capitalizing on every opportunity rather than just focusing on your local space. So again, having something that is ultimately, if you are going to funnel people from your social media, your post, your flyers, your direct mail, anything you do to your database, there has to be somewhere where you capture them, and it has to be a website of some sort of landing page, something, and it has to be integrated. IDX is your MLS system integration. So, and then when you do that, that means you have lead generation tools that's going to capture these contacts automatically. So making sure these tools that you have access to have and AI driven tools, that artificial intelligence, again, beyond what you and I can do by sitting on our computer, how can this machine technology do the work for you? And automating a lot of these things to help you still grow your brand and the way you work, and saving you time from a productivity level. And then also giving you analytics, because I'm a big believer that if you don't measure what you're doing, then you're not able to manage your work. And funny enough, a lot of us, either if you're not a new agent, or even if you are, to be honest, we all have contacts like our sphere. One, and two, if you are an agent coming from another space, coming into this space, you probably already have a built-in database. You're probably doing your email marketing through, let's say, MailChimp. Then you need a system that can integrate all of your work. So think about that too. When I say integrate, that's why I really think this slide is so important, is that you want to take everything that you're already doing, bring it all together in one place. Because if you have to go sign into MailChimp to do that work, you're already wasting time. Does that make sense? So you need to, in order to systemize things in your business, you need to figure out inefficiencies and waste. And that could be you signing into different tools, learning different tools. And what makes a CRM smart? Remember, it has to have powerful analytics and reporting. It needs to be, again, a fully integrated, complete system. SOS access, meaning that when you log into one place, you're logged into everything else. Multi-channel, so that you can speak from, Google Sheets to still, Facebook ads to your CRM, your website to your CRM. Everything could speak to each other, and you could still customize for your brand. So again, you're not lost with all the other hundreds and thousands of agents that are using this platform. You could still target very local. A lot of the ads that I run are particular to this postal code and the area that I serve. So thinking about all of that, making sure that it's ticking off, right? Every time you're about to go, a lot of people, meet with me because I specialize in a platform called KV Core. It's a #1 rated real estate technology. And I'll talk about that a little bit later at the end. But, people ask me about it. And the first thing I tell them is, KV Core is a very smart system, but make sure wherever you go and get your system that's working for you, make sure you have this mental checklist that you can check off. Huge. And I talk about this in my YouTube video, is if your CRM has inaccurate information, contact information that is inaccurate, you are going to get that bounce email, kind of like what we were talking about prior to many of you joining in, is that, the spam calls that we're getting, because people mark them as spam. So why do you still calling these people then, right? So make sure if somebody's not opening your email, if they unsubscribed from you, they need to be out of your message, and make sure that you're doing everything you can to stay out of the message, their spam boxes, right? So, and again, this builds accountability so that you can track what other agents in your group are doing. I send leads to my agents because sometimes if I'm busy, I'm going away. And quite frankly, I'm sometimes so busy that I don't even take lease leads anymore because of just the work that we're doing right now, but I can give it to my agents and make sure some of my real estate agents are actually taking care of this contact. So again, that accountability portion. So let's talk about generating leads. Like, what does that look like using a CRM system? First and foremost, if you are an agent that already, have a database, but it's an Excel document or something, first and foremost is you want to take that CVS file and import it directly into a CRM. That's the first and foremost. And if you're a new agent and you don't have a database, you have your sphere of influence. So there's strategies that you can use in order to funnel them into your database. That's very important, because if they're not in your database, then you can nurture them. So some of the tools that your CRM should have in order to generate these leads are landing pages. There's so many different landing pages you can make. Like I'm talking like you can make 10s and 20s of landing pages, because each landing pages can have a goal in a centralized goal in to target a certain group of people. For example, I had a landing page where I said, hey, sign in here, put your email address, get my buyer's guide, where I'm going to give you a complete process to getting your first home for first-time home buyers. So that's a landing page that was specifically made for first-time home buyers. My husband and I, like I mentioned earlier, we started investing in the US, where we live in Canada, we're in Toronto. We invest in the US now. So we're working with Canadian investors to purchase in the US. So we made a landing page particularly for joint venture partners and investors, attracting investors only. So I said, put your email here and I'll send you deals in the US. So if they see the deals, they'll buy it, right? So that's kind of the idea. Squeeze pages are where it takes the search function where you search your property, right? Like if you go on Realty.ca or Zillow or whatever, and you could search a property. What it does, it takes that search functionality and it squeezes them and narrows it to a particular search, and it targets your audience. So it's awesome, because this way you can say custom list of condos under a certain price, and everyone who was looking for a condo, you got them. You see what I'm getting at? So, and then you get to share that and you generate leads that way. Making sure that your system, this is, again, I can't stress this enough, because this is why you need to have real estate technologies, because you need to, if you don't have your MLS listing and up to date in real time, which is why I love this technology that we have access to so much, is that when I got my listing, that system updated quicker than Realtor.ca, and that's a problem, right? So make sure, and to me it's a good thing, but it's a problem for people who doesn't have this system, right? So make sure that your CRM, it updates in real time. 1, 2, it's up to date with all the MLS listings that are that are listed currently, so that you can use these listings and promote it. So I'll give you an example. So one of the things that we always do is if I don't have a listing, what you could do is you message agents. Obviously, you always want to get permission before you promote anybody else's listing. And then you take that direct link from the back end of KV Core or your CRM. For example, I'm going to show it to you what I mean by this, because this is going to blow your mind when you see how smart this system is. And again, find a system that's like this at your brokerage, and I guarantee you already have it. You just don't know about it, because many brokerages have access to these kind of system, and some may not be as smart. And this is why you need to go find the system that works for you. And this is where you can actually take a listing that isn't even yours, but it's going to show you a landing page of that property, but showing you as the listing agent, and people can book an appointment directly through there, ask you for more information, have a conversation with you, all in one place. Super cool. And it generates QR code. You click on it, it gives you a QR code. You can put that on a flyer. So now all of your print materials are trackable. Make sense? And then Property Boost, you can also run ads through your CRM. Huge. I'm a big believer in this, because I know because Kyle does his own Facebook ads build up and super powerful. And I think if you can do it the way Kyle does. Kyle, honestly, one of the most amazing people at doing really strategic Facebook ads. That's why follow us in our group, because we have a ton of Facebook ads tutorials coming up in the future that you can tune into. Kyle just went a couple of weeks ago and it was so awesome. What for me is someone who I've managed a lot of ads from a strategy perspective, the creative, the copy for it, but I don't technically run the ads. Does that make sense? So, well, someone like Kyle is who I would send it to, and he would set up the ads for me. So in this sense, the Property Boost, what I love is I'm a mom of 2. I'm a new mom. I'm also, when I was fairly new to the industry, I don't even know where to start. So what I started doing was leveraging the system to do ads for me, and it started generating leads for me literally on autopilot. And every time a leads would come in automatically into my database, it was triggered that when they come in from this ad, that they would get all these touch points, or literally I'm not even talking to these people, but all these leads think that they're talking to me, but they're really in turn, they're getting text messages, which I'll get to in a second. So you could do property ads, a system could set up for you, Facebook ads, so which you don't have to do on your own, which I'm a big believer that if you could do it on your own, do it through your native platform. But if you can have this, and you can still integrate it. That's a beautiful part. Huge part is that you could do it on your own, but integrate it. And then there's the Google pay-per-click ads that you can run as well if you have budgets that allow you to spend a little bit more. I'll quickly touch on this before we move on to the nurturing aspect. So what are some ways to use the landing page, for example, or squeeze page or any of these tools? A lead magnet is kind of, think of it like you go fishing and you put a bait, little worm or little baby fish to catch another bigger fish. Very similar. So in order to bring people to your database, you want to always lead with value. Show people, here is how you want to relate to me. I'm relevant. I live in your area and I can help you because I hold this knowledge. And the way to do that is giving people guides like buyer's guides, seller's guides, tenant guides, investor guide, moving with children guide if you have children, things to do, places to eat, play, etc. What templates? I'm big on this because I'm an investor. So I want to see cash flow analysis. I look at, there's a document that my husband and I always fill out. It's like a prospective, we call it the gold mine card, which it puts together everything that we need for a rental property to work. If the numbers don't work, we don't buy it. So those kind of templates you can give out. A checklist like finding the property management or first-time home buyer, how to get pre-approved, for example, tips, home improvement tips, home staging. These are something you can work with a third-party provider too. So this way you can capitalize on there because they can share it and then you can get double leads and you can work together. That's amazing. Free evaluation CMAs, again, you can use that through a CRM as well because it can populated for you automatically. Like I mentioned, squeeze pages where you can do custom list of homes, market reports, run your own events, webinars, lunch and learns, any of that sorts that if you want to, again, with partnership with other people. But these are lead magnets because people are going to run to them because they want access to all of these things for many reasons, right? And then you capture them by getting them directly into your database. That's one. Two, now the second phase is how do you nurture them so that you can convert them? Because if you don't speak to these people, if you don't find out where they are in their journey, then you're not going to be able to convert them. So massive aspect to generating the leads is having that touch point. But the part that I want you to capture here is that not you having to ever pick up a phone call, you not having to sit in front of a computer. Automation is huge. Honestly, I'm not going to even lie to you. Maybe like 95% of my touch points are done through the computer. They don't even know they're talking to me. They're not. They're talking to the system. Only time I ever pick up is when they respond to me and said, hey, tell me more about the property. And then the conversion happens, right? And now I'm talking to them. I show them properties, listing presentation. So day-to-day communication, unless I'm in the conversion mode and they're converting into a client, it's all automated. Search alerts. I put a search alert on everyone in my database because I'm a big believer in what Steve Jobs says. If they don't know what they're buying, then they're not going to buy it. Why do you think that window shopping and all these things are $1 million business, right? Because people want to sample something before they buy it. How many times have you gone into the mall, saw something and you walked out with it, but you never plan on going there to buy that, right? Because they sold you on it through them showing it to you. So huge. We sell properties, show them properties. The more people see that you sell these type of properties, they're going to come to you. Huge. The reason Kyle gets all these people coming to him asking about pre-con is because all his social media posts is about pre-con. So I know where to go when I need pre-con projects. Most of my projects that I promote is all from Kyle, straight up, right? So I know they come to me and I send them straight to Kyle, right? So have a system in place where they know what you specialize in. So put them on search alerts and search alerts that you specialize in. And let's say they want something different outside of that. Amazing. This is why your network of agents around the world, you get a referral fee, pass it on to someone like Frank, Kyle, make a referral fee and take someone that's a great agent, take care of this lead for you. Smart campaign. This is huge. I'm going to go into the back end and show you what it should look like. Smart campaigns you probably heard of words like drips. So drips are pretty much like types of messages, whether there will be text message, emails where people get in order to communicate with them. So I have literally a 700-day text message plan, and that it has email as well that touches them throughout their journey. I literally had a buyer, actually 2 buyers in one day, who responded to my drip literally from like a year and a half ago from a property boost ad that I did. I don't even know who they are. I don't even know where they live, right? It's not crazy. All this time, I had no idea who they are, and I'm working with them. And then biggest recommendation is, I don't know if any of you do this, but once you start working with somebody and have their information, I recommend that you get their birthdays, anniversary, or when their closing is, because remember, every closing is a potential for 7 other referral, a lifetime of that client that you closed with. So make sure you nurture them, remind them through their anniversaries, but Also birthdays, wishing them just to stay top of mind. And then mass emails. Again, if you already have an email system that you already use, like a Constant Contact, MailChimp, any of those type, just integrate it directly into your CRM all in one place. We schedule them, so we have emails that goes out once a week. And then voicemail drop. This is super cool. You can automate, you can record a voicemail and you could directly send it to somebody without even initiating a phone call. Again, you don't have to be there. It's already pre-recorded. You could send it to as many people as you like. Mass text message is huge. I can click on a property that I'm about to list or I got permission to promote, click on all the leads that are buyers in my database, quickly search up the, buyers hashtag. They'll populate all my buyers. I send a quick text saying, hey, just letting you know, this property or this pre-construction new development is hitting the market. I have new releases coming. Next week it's launching. Be the first one to know. Send me a text back saying if you need more info. I'll send you the details. Does that make sense? So you could do things like this, automate them. And behavioral, this is huge. And I'll show you what this looks like in a second. This is where when somebody comes to onto your website and they start looking at properties on your website or your landing page, whatever that you promoted, you need your system to track them. What are they looking at? When do they look at it? And this way it gives you an idea. Oh man, Kyle is back on my website looking interesting. He said he wasn't interested 2 months ago, but now he's back. Interesting. With the market change, this time I give him a call. Does that make sense? So it gives you insider knowledge you would never have access to because the machine is doing that work for you. And one of the things that I wanted to mention earlier about the lead validation is that if your database is not accurate, then you have inaccurate information. So what's the point of that, right? Make sure you guys have a lead validation in place. So what that does is automatically, anytime a lead comes into your database, what it should do automatically, this is so powerful, cookies runs through the internet to find publicly available information. Like for example, my LinkedIn profile is public. It'll pull, or my Facebook, whatever, right? It'll pull information, my email address, phone number to validate that this person is indeed real. Yes, they have real phone numbers. That's awesome. So, and one time it told me, like actually many times it told me, hey, these Facebook ads, because I used to run my own Facebook ads and I'm not as good as Kyle. So a lot of they weren't very accurate information. They're like pizza numbers. And I love that my CRM would tell me, hey, fake phone number, or whatever. So, and then because this isn't real or it conflicts with another existing company or business, which is so amazing. So that's awesome. Now you generated the leads, you brought them in, now you're talking to them. How do you now take it to the next level? Now, when somebody responds to your drip, are interested, you want to continue that search alerts, but now you refine the search alert. That's going to make sense for this person. You have conversation with them. You can now actually send them a CMA, because a lot of time CMA is another topic, but I can go into it for hours because people have a massive misunderstanding about, everyone wants to give out CMAs like hotcakes, but it doesn't quite work like that, right? So that's another one. So you can do custom CMA builders directly in the system. Listing presentations you can also do directly in the system again, but this is more, I recommend that you use some of these things in person, but you can automate it by after you come home, you can send it to them through the person and see that if they watched it, right? And then the other thing that I like to do is that now you are in the phases, in the journey, they went from a lead to an active lead to now a client. Now you can send them listings and keep an eye on their behaviors, which is awesome. So lastly, what I wanted to do is I just wanted to show you that I actually, like I mentioned, KB Core is a system that we use. I'm actually I'm not going to say I'm an expert in this, but what I've done with this course is that I put a marketing spin to it. So I've taken all of these things that I've shown you and I've wrapped it around through the system through a marketing lens. So setting up a landing page is great. Knowing how to put together a landing page is awesome. But where do you share it? How do you promote it? How do you have people look at it? And what is it going to say in it? Like, where are the copy? What are you writing? That's what this course does. And you have free access to this course when you partner with us, which Kyle will get into in a moment. What I'll do for you guys, so I want to quickly show you what this looks like. Look at this. So in this system, I want to protect the privacy of people in my database. So I just opened up, this is just my profile, lead profile. It looks overwhelming, but I want to only show you some key things. So obviously I identify where they are in their journey, but what I love is there's a timeline of every touch point I had with this lead. So whenever I went and looked at a property, it tells me exactly when I looked at it, what time. Look at that, right? I'm not tracking this. I have this is insider information, not even your broker can give you, right? Am I wrong? So it tells me that they looked at this. So I'll give you an example. I had I had a buyer, and actually they were dual because I double ended this deal. This person would tell me, actually, I want to sell my place in Ajax in Ontario, and she wants to go to Richmond Hill, and she told me her price range, so I put her on a Richmond Hill search alert. But a couple of weeks later, she started looking at properties in Markham. She started looking at properties in Scarborough, but she never told me that. But I started looking here, and it went for a couple of days, another week. I had a conversation with her, and funny enough, you want to know where she ended up buying? In Scarborough, right? So I would have never known that and initiated that conversation if this insider information was given to me, this insight. Super awesome. Look at this. If somebody tells you, oh, I'm not getting your emails, but you can see that they're watching it, isn't that awesome? You could see if they've opened it, and you could see if contact is real. And if they haven't been opening, a really good trick is to send them an email with a subject line saying lost touch. Hey, just touching base. I haven't heard from you. Something more particular to that to kind of break that cycle, because what email system does is when somebody keeps ignoring your messages, it tracks them as spam. So keep an eye on that too. So you want people to engage. Even if they don't respond, you want them to read it, because that's a form of nurturing, because once they keep looking at you, you're top of mind. So this is what your system needs to have. So I can send out, these are all automatic, by the way. Look, these are search alerts, so you can look at what it looks like. New properties for, of course, it's me, because I'm just showing you an example, but it'll show you the properties and it'll list them all that are available. And then you can go and click to view more. And then let's say I do click it, or your lead clicks it, it'll automatically come here, at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time, she looked at such and such property. And then you could respond, contact them, call them directly from here. But that's what I mean by what that journey looks like. And last thing I'll show you here is, look at this. Contact, this is the lead validation. It tells you can run it, and it'll tell you, look at this. It'll pull, she's a female, she's email excellent qualities, a real email address, because this is my personal email. Here's her website. She has LinkedIn profile. Look at that. It pulled external links that aren't even in here to show this person is indeed real, contact is validated. I don't know if that's isn't powerful enough. I'm not sure what is. So I think in a nutshell, that's kind of what I wanted to show you. And kind of going back to the presentation, and before we wrap it up and kind of open up for questions and for Kyle to take it on for his next parts of the training. Ultimately, guys, like, there's no shortage of remarkable ideas, right? None of this is new. It's existed for years. But what's missing is our will to execute them and use them. Use them, guys. Make your business easier so that you have more time doing income producing activities, working on your business, working on things that you love, spending time with your family, and look and automate your business in a way that you can put everything in one place and leverage systems that allow you to do that. And what we have access to here at our brokerage is the system called KV Core. And that's what I made this course specifically on, which all of the agents that partner with us have free access to this course. And what we do in this course is that I literally walk you through navigating. I teach you, they're all video tutorials, by the way, of how to navigate this system, how to learn the system. And then I walk you through how to generate leads for free using the system, because there's so many free tools. And then I show you paid tools if you want to pay to play. That's another thing you could do. And trust me, you could do even better with more accurate information with the free tools than you can with the paid. But it's just one is even more automated than the other, exactly. And then nurturing and how to write your drips, how all of that works. And then we talk also about like how to convert them and stuff. One other thing that I actually wanted to show you that's super powerful is the smart campaign I mentioned. So this is the drip. Look how powerful this is. I'll show you one of my drip that I have on, and I've taken some of their, and I can show you one that already exists that comes with the system. Look at this. This is the system. But even though I teach you how to edit them and rewrite them if you need to, if this doesn't work for you, but these are, look at this. This one goes till 196 days. You can communicate with them for. Isn't that amazing? And the system talking to you, telling you what to do. And this is actually a task. I show you one that's talking directly. The system talking to the contact is telling you what to do, to tell them to call them, because the system can't call for you because you have to talk, right? So it could text for you. And then this goes till 720 days. Isn't that amazing? So the system will automatically trigger. That's why that behavioral automation is so important, because it'll be triggered to go speak to them. But essentially, I know it's a lot to take in if you're new to this, but essentially, I just wanted to just give you a little tip of the iceberg to show you how none of the system is new. It's been around for years, and just take advantage of it, guys.
Thanks so much for watching. I hope you learned something useful. If you're interested in partnering with our record-breaking organization, the Wolfpack, here at eXp Realty, completely for free, just click the link that's in the pinned comment. We can set up a a time to talk and we can see whether or not we'd be a good fit for each other. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor, click the like button down below and make sure to subscribe. We're going to be posting videos like this on the channel every single week. And be sure to join the Facebook page. The link is in the top of the description. It's also in the pinned comment. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.